My name is Maddie Boardman and I am a solution-focused hypnotherapist at Old Town Hypnotherapy in Swindon. Today I'm going to be talking about ways to boost our happiness and to understanding the role of some neurotransmitters in our mental health. At Old Town Hypnotherapy we talk about the 3 Ps, the 3 things we have to ensure we do to maintain our mental health. Positive interaction, positive activity and positive thinking. And these 3 Ps generate happy feelings created by healthy chemicals in our brains, and these healthy chemicals in our brains are called neurotransmitters. They help us to cope well with our lives. Now, what are these happy neurotransmitters? What do they do? Can we boost our levels of them to help ourselves feel happier? And what are the symptoms when we're low, when we're lacking in these? So neurotransmitters are chemicals, and their role is to act as messengers in our brains. They take a message from one neuron. Now, a neuron is a nerve cell that carries information through our nervous system. And the neurotransmitters take the message from one neuron to the next neuron through the little gap in between them both, the synapse. And they play a vital role in how happy we feel. And we have over 40 of these neurotransmitters in our brains. I'm not going to attempt to list all 40 of them today. I'm just going to focus on 2 of them. Arguably, the 2 most influential on our mental health. We have serotonin. I'm sure it's a word you are familiar with. Serotonin is known as the mood stabilizer. And the second one, again, I'm sure you're familiar with the word, is dopamine. And dopamine is the feel-good chemical. So we're going to start with talking about serotonin, the mood stabilizer. And I think that if we were going to rate those 40 neurotransmitters, serotonin would most likely take first place in terms of its effect on our mental health in a positive way. When we have a nice, steady flow of serotonin throughout our day, it helps us to maintain a positive outlook on life. It helps us to cope with the challenges we're facing. It regulates our mood. An imbalance in serotonin is one of the most common contributors to mood problems. And you may already know that medications that alter that lovely steady flow of serotonin are the first-line drug treatments for both anxiety and depression. Lots of doctors prescribe drugs called SSRIs, and that stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And SSRIs are the most commonly prescribed type of antidepressant, drugs such as sertraline, you may be aware of. The symptoms of low serotonin include an unstable mood. It's the mood stabilizer. So without a healthy flow of it, our mood is unstable. We might be worrying, we might feel anxious, have trouble sleeping, be self-critical, have low self-confidence. Maybe we're craving salty or sweet foods, especially later on in the day, or even alcohol, obsessively thinking. All these are symptoms of low serotonin. So what can we do to boost our levels naturally? Well, luckily there are lots of ways. And the number 1 way is no surprise, it's exercise. And if we go back to the 3 Ps I mentioned at the beginning, positive activity was one of the 3 Ps. And positive activity encompasses a wide range of healthy behaviours, but exercise is definitely at the top of that list. Exercise has actually been proven to outperform any prescription drug that aims to boost serotonin over the long term. It's exercise is simply way above any drug on the market for boosting your mental health. So do whatever exercise you enjoy. Maybe it's going at the gym quite hard. Maybe it's running, long distance running, short distance running. Maybe it's Pilates or yoga. Maybe you prefer just to go for a gentle walk or do some gardening. Whatever it is, just prioritise it. Move your body. Exercise should be a little bit like brushing our teeth. Just something that we do. A healthy diet helps serotonin levels. Again, no great surprise. There is an enzyme, again you might be aware of the word, is tryptophan. And foods that are high in the enzyme tryptophan have been shown to increase serotonin production. Now these include things like green tea, quite an acquired taste. I'm not that keen on it myself. Dark chocolate, I'm very keen on. Turmeric, eggs, salmon, nuts and seeds, tofu, all foods that we know are healthy for us anyway, but a healthy diet helps. Meditation and self-hypnosis help to boost serotonin levels. And there are lots of excellent meditation apps available. On our website, oldtownhypnotherapy.co.uk, we have a completely free self-hypnosis relaxation audio that you can download. Please help yourself to that. Maintaining a healthy sleep routine, going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time, and just getting outside, going outside and getting some sunlight will help. So that's serotonin. We're going to move on to dopamine quickly. And dopamine is the feel-good chemical, the feel-good neurotransmitter. And it's an important part of your brain's reward and motivation system. And dopamine is associated with pleasurable sensations. And it's a big part of our unique ability to think and to focus and to plan. Perhaps you've set yourself a goal, and that goal is exciting. Dopamine makes you feel fired up and enthusiastic about achieving that goal and that anticipation of achieving that goal. And when you do achieve it, you get a surge of pleasure, a surge of dopamine. Dopamine is a short, sharp boost to our happiness, rather than the steady flow of serotonin that we spoke about. Unfortunately, dopamine can get a bit tied up with some not so healthy habits, addictions, drug misuse. Drugs such as, for example, cocaine can cause a very large, fast increase in dopamine in the brain. And it satisfies your natural reward system in a really big way. But repeated drug use also raises the threshold for this unnatural level of dopamine, while simultaneously reducing your body's ability to produce dopamine naturally. This means when you stop taking the drug, you have an emotional low, and this creates a cycle of addiction that is unhealthy. Now, low levels of dopamine are linked to reduced motivation and decreased enthusiasm. When we have low levels of dopamine, we find it hard to get excited about anything, really. Things that most normal people would get excited about, we just can't find it within ourselves to get excited. Persistent tiredness is a symptom. Constipation, poor moods and disturbed sleep can all be a result of low dopamine. Can be lots of other things, so always check with your doctor. How can we boost our dopamine levels? Well, just like with serotonin, lifestyle choices are really important. Getting enough sleep, having a healthy diet, routinely exercising, listening to music helps dopamine levels, meditating or self-hypnosis, spending time outside in the sunshine can boost dopamine levels. A good tip is to break a big task down into little smaller chunks. It's a good strategy because every time you achieve one of the small chunks, you get a little boost of dopamine, and then when you finish the entire task, you get that surge of pleasure. Recognising when we have achieved something is important, really noticing when you've achieved your goals, and doing something to mark it. Don't hold back from celebrating. Go to your favourite restaurant or whatever it is for you that marks the occasion. So that's dopamine. In clinic, we also discuss other chemicals. I'm not going to go deeply into them. You already, I'm sure, have heard of them. Endorphins, we know they're linked to exercise, and they are our natural painkillers. And oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is our love chemical. We get it when we physically touch, when we cuddle. Pets are included in that. And when we trust and when we form attachments with other humans. Both play important roles in maintaining our happiness. The science on understanding the exact roles of serotonin and dopamine and all the neurotransmitters, how they all work within our bodies, is still very much developing. What we know is that the body is always craving a state of balance, always striving for that homeostasis. And the body is excellent at regulating itself. But if you are showing signs of stress, if you're, as we say in clinic, your stress bucket is getting a bit full, you could maybe choose to go and do some exercise today, or get outside in nature for some fresh air. Maybe you could tick something off your to-do list, finish a task, or simply cuddle your partner or cuddle your pet. Just do it knowing you are boosting your happiness and helping your brain to